Hey, what's good, Cowboys Nation? I hope everybody doing good this Saturday. Hope everybody's having a good weekend and whatnot. Coaching staff, defensive coach staff starting to fill out. We've hired some people. The only person I'm really familiar with is Greg Ellis. Former Cowboy, third in all-time leading sacks for the Cowboys. Greg Ellis. I know the other dude worked with the Niners. One of the other guys worked with Zimmer, I think in Cincinnati, and maybe another place. I don't know much about the coaching style, so I'm not going to say they're good or they're bad. I saw people who loved the moves. I saw a couple people who didn't really care for them. So like I said, I don't know much about them. So I'm going to, sorry, I'm at work, got my earbuds in and whatnot. If I was a little loud. So me personally, I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to, because these dudes can come together and under Zimmer's style can change some things by how they coach. Maybe, and maybe their coaching style, their leadership is going to change the way our defensive front does things. Maybe they do less just, I'm a stunt on my own. Maybe the stunts are built into the play call. Maybe the defensive line is what you hear a lot of when you hear a lot of other teams, or when you hear the commentators talk about other defenses. Something I don't think I've really ever heard them say about the Cowboys' defensive line, defensive front is they're all on a string. They're all moving together in an accord. They're not moving at the same beat. They're just kind of doing their own thing. The defensive line may be here, defensive tackles may be front, defensive line may be back. They're not collapsing the pocket as one. So maybe this defensive line coach, the assistant, the new run game coordinator, maybe they'll get these guys to play as one. I listened to Zimmer's press conference. One thing I liked about his conference is that he talked about his leadership style. And I like what I heard. Like I said, I've said on here plenty of times, I was a leader in the military, leader in my household. And it's something that it took me a while as a young E5, a young leader, to learn that, you can't approach everybody the same. As I grew more as a leader, as I had more soldiers, different soldiers, I learned that you got to approach everybody differently. And listening to Zimmer talk, he knows that, and that's a good thing to hear. That one thing a lot of fans, they just want, I want them to be on everybody's butt. I want them to, and not everybody responds to that. So therefore, you got to adjust the way you talk to everybody. One guy, hey, let's say, D-Law, Mozzie, Izzy, just random players. They can handle hardcore leadership. And then, and I'm not saying this person can't, but Bell, he might respond to a different type of leadership. Malik Hooker might respond to a different type of leadership than um, Osa or Clark or um, any of our other guys, So therefore, you got to have a different leadership style. And that's one thing I liked about what I heard. Because, like I said, being a leader, learning and growing and he's been that way for years. And you heard him talk about that, how he had to learn that. And I think that's something that I really looked for when I waited for their press conference, and I loved it. And now it's about getting hopefully these players, like I said in my last video, now it's about these players adjusting, these players buying in, these players doing what they have to do. Your coach can adapt to you. Your coach can adapt his leadership style to you and this and that, but are these players going to adapt and adjust and buy into what they need to do to all these new coaches? They can. Now it's not about what your last leader taught you. Now it's about, okay, taking what, it's about, I'm wrong. It's about what the last person taught you, but also taking what they taught you and taking what this person's teaching you, and it building you and making you a better person, a better player. That new technique they're teaching you, combining it with what they taught you before. Or saying, you know what, this technique here is a lot better for me. So for me, hopefully with this new coaching staff, I'm hoping they add a couple more people in, for the secondary, just to, and, linebacker coach. Hopefully it just builds this defense to what we need. I'm hoping that hopefully they add somebody younger on the offense to kind of adjust the run game a little bit, help our run game on offense. But I'm from a lot of people that I respect them talking about, like Sky. He's talked about some of these people that he wanted to bring in, and he's liking it. And so there, and Sky's a dude I respect a lot. So and so are some other people, man. And I respect the people who don't like it, and I respect probably why they don't, if they give me a reason why they don't like it, other than it's not a person, it's not that they didn't want it. So, hey, Cowboys Nation, just chill. Let's see how this plays out a little bit. Let's wait and see how, now it's on the front office to bring in the players that this coaching staff needs. And through free agency and through the draft. Me personally, I want to go defense in free agency, hit offensive in the draft, and just build like that. I'm not saying all our picks got to be offense, but our first 2-3 rounds should be offensive players, mainly. Offensive line, receiver. That's what I mean. If we should get 2 offensive linemen and a receiver. If there's stud defensive players there, take it. But that's it, man. This Cowboys Nation, let's roll with it. Let's see how this works out. Let's see how this pans out. And let's rock with it. Give it a chance. All right.